Yo.
Hello there.
All right. So I've read through it. I like it. But I've got some pretty big potatoes to throw onto your meat.
All right, go for it. I said, this
Yeah.
is all for theory at this point. Nothing's
Yep.
set in stone.
Yep. 1000%. Okay. So my biggest desire, let's call it a desire, because I do not yet know if it's feasible. That's something maybe we can collectively cook on. But this system is very archaic. You register a gun with a 311 with a response. That is subject to failing really poorly. Also, the system that is currently there for reporting a stolen gun is also archaic. My evidence of this is the many, many cases that I am currently handling. I'm going to give you the most recent example of this. Wendell Santana and Tommy DeVito, I was able to argue away their warrants, right? As I was able to point out there was not enough probable cause. And as such, their warrants were removed. However, the information pertaining to how their weapons license was removed initially was not documented. I will dive into the whole, like, you know, do you need probable cause to remove it? Let's just say they were marked as like suspended via a judge. That information goes onto their profile. That profile is only available to judges and lawyers and has not been treated as any form of like official documentation. And given the fact that it cannot be discovered by either the suspect or the lawyer, it creates a system in which there is no real good form of recourse. There's a second issue. In the case of Tommy DeVito, warrant was removed. The cop said, yep, it's cool. You can get it back. Tommy DeVito just got done talking to Justice Gatsby, who wasn't sure what to do next because PD didn't communicate, which I think is relatively understandable because what is the form of communication? You know, there's a lot of, you know, he said, she said, but ultimately I got it reinstated. So what my general proposition here is that we need a better weapon registry system. That registry system would be in the form of a affidavit. When you have a weapon that needs to be registered, you fill out a form. That form has all the details in it, and you sign, affidavit, boom, boom, boom. It is now in the hands of the police department and in a database that everybody, if needed, can be looked at. Judges, police, and if it does go to criminal civil, it can be, you know, FOIA'd. In that same said system, if a weapon is stolen, that the individual affected by said stolen weapon would use that same said system. Name, date, whatever, and then a statement detailing how it was stolen with a signature acting as said affidavit. What I am describing here effectively removes this whole find a cop, find a dispatcher, find a receptionist, hope they do their job right, like bullshit, which I think is kind of creating a lot of the existing headaches. My only issue is that what I've described, I don't know how the fuck we do it. But I know we need to get there.
That was my question I was going to ask you at this point is, listen, this sounds great in theory, but I'm working with what we have right now, and that sounds like a completely
1000%
computerized system that would be when you buy it. Here it is. Here's a you know, ammunition gives you a document. Just if you recall, based on, you know, for example, like your registration with your car there, right? If you have a gun registration like you would a vehicle one, so that you actually have some form of documentation that gets generated and pushed to your documents on your phone there. That would be great. That would be ideal. I don't disagree that we're working with archaic things here where there is potential to make things easier, make things more automated. I just don't have the IT capabilities for that.
1000%. Let me cook on that aspect. So let's imagine putting a big circle around it and say, give Nino 24 hours to cook. I'm going to send some emails and see if there's something that can be done. I have a general idea. Obviously, the obvious is Google form, but you're going to have a bunch of penises fill the database, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Of course I do.
So I think I have an idea of a solution. I just have to see if it's possible. But I don't want to describe. There's already a system in place to log in via, Steam credentials. And I think we can actually tie that to a private document that's only accessible through that API link, which I actually don't think is a lot of work. So I'm going to poke someone about that. It may actually be simpler than we realize.
Well, that would be nice to have if that's something. I have no idea. Those are foreign words to me that you just said there.
Yeah.
I have no idea what API means or whatever the hell y'all just said, but sure they.
Yeah. It's kind of like, think of it this way, like with Google Forms and Docs, you can actually tie them to a API key, right? And
the hell's an API?
Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's kind of skip that. I'm also going to cook to see if there's another way we can do it in City, and maybe that could be in the form of like a contract, right? Or like whatever. But anyways, let's go to the other bits. I want to get the annoying one out of the way since it's a little bit more complicated. Yes. The secondary option, right, is let's say none of this thing that I described, this weapon registry shit, can be done. I really think at this stage, if we are going to go down the route of where the profile it becomes an official document, profiles need to be something that are treated like official government documentation on a person that can be FOIA'd. And that would then become the official means by which DNA is documented, how weapons are documented, and when weapons are stolen, it is documented. And as such, regardless of what it is, a civilian, whether they're looking for the DNA, whether they're saying like, hey, is my weapon shit like properly communicated out, they can FOIA that. A judge can look at it, and in there as table form, because I'm pretty sure you can put a table in there, you would see something like weapons, table, serial number, blah, 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 blah. History of stolen weapons, date, officer or receptionist who put it in, report number. You know what I'm saying? And I think that inherently could do everything I described with a more complicated system. The only thing preventing that is the way that profiles are being used today. And quite frankly, I don't think PD should be using that anyways for investigative note-taking. That doesn't make any sense to begin with.
I understand what you're saying with it.
Yep.
Frankly, I just don't know it exactly the best way to do it, and that's what I'm saying. I'm open to it, but at the same time, I recognize that it actually takes someone there to be able to do that and understand how that works, and then what it is and what it isn't, etc. I get that. It's a pain in the ass.
Wait, which aspect of it? The FOIA
actually having, yes, that part is the official documentation. What becomes part of the official documentation, who's actually taking that, who can actually ensure that it is done correctly. Is it still the same people? Is it the same one? Is it per profile? Is it just a report? Which one is it? all those things.
Yeah, I can give you, what I'm going to do is I'll give you, let's table this, and I'm going to give you an example of like how I think it should look like. And then, you know, I think that visualization may be able to convey my thought a little bit better. But I think,
Fair enough.
Yep. So let's move on to the next one. The weapons licenses should be non-violent felons. My argument for this, if someone is a G6 driver who is robbed, whatever, there's sanitation work, whatever, they decide to go like race a fucking sports car and they get reckless evading. That individual that more than likely has gotten a weapon to protect themselves, protect their property, etc. from Chang Gang and whoever the fuck, has now been stripped of the only form of defense that they have available to them, other than calling 911, which is not going to be responded to. So we are now inherently putting an individual that has probably been, you know, diligently using their weapon up until this point, who has been not found to be violent. We're stripping them of the only tool that they have to protect themselves. And we are inherently putting them on a path to become a criminal because, look, if you're getting farmed for material, right?
Hold on. They just back up because you just say someone that was a non-violent felony is on the path to become a criminal. They already are felon at that point. Think about that one just for a second.
Path to be a violent felon. Sorry. They are on the path to be a violent felon, as now their only recourse is that, well, they're probably going to end up getting an illegal gun and start using that so that they don't get farmed for the material or whatever the fuck gangs like to do to, you know, non-violent civilians. So I don't.
I think it's. I think that is a broader point for a contest that can be argued at some point as well. Now, the actual weapons license parts that was more or less. I don't even know if that should be in there because that's taken directly from the actual other legislation that's there. Mm-hmm. So it's more of a copy and paste over, and frankly, not exactly what I want to put as subject to majority of this, because it's duplicative at this point, because you already have one legislation, it's just a copy from the other. So I might remove that to begin with.
Oh, good. What, the non-violent bit, the felon bit?
No, the actual just section 1. The other one still exists. The same sentences and verbiage exists elsewhere. You see what I'm saying, right? I have it in two places there.
I need you
to go ahead. All right, go to your. Do you have MDT up there right now?
Yes. So you're saying. I think what you were saying is,
if you go to legislation
and pasted
tab,
the existing weapon license and you appended it to the end of your document. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Oh yes, I understand that. Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. So there's no need for me to list it twice. It's already listed once.
Yes. And you're saying that as a part of this thing that we're doing right now, we should not be arguing whether or not violent or non-violent felons, like, there should be a differentiator? Is that what I'm hearing?
But I think that's a point of different contention with it. For the purpose of what we're doing now, I think that's slightly different.
Okay. What are we doing now? Because I think I might be confused.
This is the entirety of the criminal negligent ownership of a firearm document that's sent you there. Mm-hmm. This is a statute of limitations. It's accessory charges. Like I said, the weapons license is separate. That's already in different legislation.
I see now. Okay. You want to tackle that specifically. I thought this was
correct.
Both.
No, sorry.
Okay.
This is just pertaining, as it states on the title there, this is an expansion of the policy for
I see. So this is not a replacement of the
correct.
Weapons. Okay.
No, this is not.
All right. That makes a lot more sense now. All right. I think we're on the same page now.
I wasn't clear with that.
No, it's okay. I like reading. It's I don't mind. Okay, if that is the case, well, I'm gonna still hit these points, and then you tell me whether it's relevant for this discussion or not. For 1.3, now this does hit that again, is I think it needs to be explicitly called out that due process is required. 1.3 states law enforcement may remove a weapons license without judicial consultation upon probable cause. and then it says any violent charge on record and violation of penal code entry, criminal negligent ownership of a firearm.
Once again, that's still referencing the other document right now.
Okay.
The entire section 1 is the other legislation right now.
So the only thing in contention is the 4 paragraphs plus the penal code definition. For the 4
would
paragraphs.
Be 2, 3, 4, and 5 plus the top part to that. So imagine if I take one out of there, like literally strike out one, the entire section of 1.
Oh, I see. Okay, easy. All right, no worries. At present, okay, so now comes the next thing, right? And this goes into the whole registration conversation, right? Either A, we need a more comprehensive registration, or secondly, the example that I gave with the Tommy DeVito and you know, Judge Gatsby and Riker, the whole like thing. If someone has a warrant for criminal negligent ownership of a firearm, there is no documentation as to how those processes take place. Is something getting suspended? Is it getting revoked? Where is that being placed? Now, notwithstanding this grand, like, let's like get something more comprehensive into a person's profile, we are now maybe where does any of this get documented? You know what I mean? Why is it getting suspended? What is a report number? What is this? Either that needs to go into the profile, or we need to start considering that they file something onto the government forum. And that might mean a new subsection, right?
Well, I don't think it has to the government forum side. I think that if we combine, for example, what was just put forth with a fair amount, for example, Angel's information about, for example, subpoenas, whatever the hell it was, where you have to do due diligence within a certain period of time to make your best faith effort for known phone numbers, contacts, even document sharing, that an officer that is taking care of it must inform that individual that their license has been revoked, whether that be via text message, phone call, or document. But should be.
Ooh, I like that. Wait, what are you referring to right now?
If you go to legislation, the common law 1, and then you scroll all the way down to the third one from the bottom there, Mr. Solomon Walker with the best effort decree.
Oh, shit. I like that. I think that should be referenced in this document. I am going with, after this phone call, I'm going to know, you're going to know. People don't read. So I think it might be worth highlighting in that sentence.
All right. Noted that down.
Okay, hell yeah. 2-2. I agree that an officer should be subject to prosecution. However, at present, felony obstruction of justice isn't expanded enough for the intended type of prosecution suggested. Now, I don't expect that get updated in this document, but I wanted to highlight that as like a keep this in the back of your mind. Is felony obstruction of justice is a key charge used in the United States when prosecuting for matters like this and other such matters, but felony obstruction of justice tends to be a much more verbose than the penal system that we have today. So I like what's written there. It's just I don't believe that mechanism currently exists. However, but I'm not too worried. I'm highlighting it because I think if this were to happen, then if I was the lawyer, I would push that and then use that court case as a means to potentially broaden the law. So
fair enough.
All right. Next, 3-1 should call out probable cause. Reason cops are gonna not understand what that means.
Well, here's the thing in this. I'm going to be honest. At this point, the 30-day statute of limitations back charge might just go away.
Ooh,
based
okay.
upon a few conversations. It might just be the instance in which it's found in.
I like that. So get rid of all accessory charges completely.
Well, it'd still be an accessory to where it's found. Now,
Agreed.
here's the other part to this, and actually, I don't want to comment on this quite yet because there's still it's still a few things in the fire with that. I can't give you too much of that. I can't give you too much on that.
I'm okay. Let's table that. If it does remain, let's put it that way. If it were to remain, because I understand why it's there, probable cause would need to be written out because I know it's inferred by that sentence, but it is not being interpreted with that sentence because the owner subject to is being read as you should, you know what I'm saying? Like it's becoming like do it anyways. That's, you know. But
would you like, I mean, if it's does stay there, if you have a different way, keep in mind this is a copy, just mark it in red if you have a different way to write that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say it out loud and then I'll do it in person. It says I'll like do it myself as well. Accessory charges to the firearms registered owner are subject with probable cause, with established probable cause to the time of weapon discovery while still adhering to. So something like that.
Fair enough.
All right. And then boom, that's it. So I think really at the heart of this conversation, without touching the weapon license, any sort of reform around that, I think really all this comes down to is we need a better registry process. And what I will do is I'm going to write out an example of like what I think that profile should look like and a means by which I got an idea. I'm going to cook something and I'm going to send it to you within the hour.
All righty. No, I appreciate that. Can't guarantee that I'm going to be alive within the hour because apparently it's Judgment Day.
But what do you mean?
I don't know. Well, Gadsby said there's something about we're killing all DOJ members out there right now.
4th of July came early. I think you got for another 6 hours there if you're on the East Coast.
Oh, really? Is that what Mr. K is saying there?
No, I'm saying it's 4th of July. You said Judgment Day. I'm assuming it's like 4th of July related.
Oh, no,
absolutely
not.
6 hours?
Not at all there, my friend.
What are we talking about, Mr. K? Am I is this on Twitter?
Yes, it is.
Wait, hold on. Put in accurate time, retweet. Wait, check out this event, Judgment Day, via the calendar.
Yes, they're pissed off at things and they're killing every member of the DOJ.
Oh, fuck, I joined. You're my witness. I can't leave this. Wait, how do I look at what the fuck I just clicked?
I have no idea.
At the, oh my God. But taking out. All right. Well, best of luck. I'm going to be cooking on this. If you're still alive, hopefully, you know, I'm going to, you know, maybe I'll tweet out, please let Bailey, like, you know, hold on to his tablet or something, you know.
Oh, thank you. Not kill me. not just make sure I have my tablet with me. I mean, thank you, Mr. Chavez.
Well, I mean, with all due respect, Bailey, it kind of sounded like you're going there knowing that you're gonna something's gonna go down. And
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, okay. All right. I mean, I'll ask. You know what?
Be crazy if you think that I'm going anywhere. Well, if people want to damn kill me, hell no.
I mean, here's the thing, right, Bailey? If you want me to reach out, I can, but I would prefer not to have any involvement in it, because if I were to reach out, that in plot, like I would sort of be I would be culpable for all those that I do not speak up on behalf to. You know what I mean?
Oh, don't worry. When your favorite damn judge actually has conversations, it's there. Good luck.
Well, you know, Nino does have a ring to it. Or Dictator Nino. How about that? There's nothing left, and there's only one politician. What's the next move?
I have no idea.
All right.
Figuring that one out.
Okay. I appreciate it.
All right.
Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Bye.